Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm being a fool and talking in the background for an hour again. Cause
Yeah,
you know me. We know me. I like to talk.
we know him.
Today we got Twig VT on. They're pretty cool. They made a really funny video about trash that we're gonna talk about later.
Please don't watch it. It's the bane of my existence.
It's kind of a trashy video.
Aha! Aha! Ha!
But I will let them kind of introduce themselves and tell everybody about their content.
Well, oh wow, that started quickly. Hi, I'm Twig Vtuber. I am a mushroom turned human who got killed by an immortal snail. I make YouTube content based around Genshin and Hoyoverse games, but I also collab with some other like friends occasionally, just because of I like them. And I don't know. I'm chaos. I do the thing, and I edit videos, and yeah. I don't know what else to talk about regarding my channel. I just kind of release videos weekly and stream every other week, and then shorts in between that.
We gotta be a challenge right off the bat.
Wait, what? What challenge? What?
Oh,
What's
gosh.
happening? So confused.
I gotta challenge you. That's my goal every time. That's why I will hit you right off the bat with tell me about yourself and tell me about your content,
Oh, no.
because I don't like letting people just stagnate and go in slow. That's not the way to go. I gotta be tough on you. That's a real reporter.
Okay.
So I got a question for you.
Talking about my specific doing like self-introductions, I never know how long they should be.
I mean, with my show, they can be as long or as short as you'd like. It doesn't matter to me as long as you can get your point across. That's what I care about, is letting you talk about yourself. This isn't about me. This is about you.
That... Oh no, okay, that's like the worst thing for me to possibly do, but I did not think in being interviewed out, but I'll try. I will try.
As long as you're doing their best, that's what counts. So I gotta ask, is this like playing off of the whole theory of you're immortal, but you can only die if you get touched by the immortal snail? I forget where I heard that from originally, but there was like that whole...
I think it was like a Tumblr post at some point. Yeah, so that piece of lore came about impromptu. It was not written. It was not like pre-planned or anything. I was doing the funeral stream for my previous model, and I got bored, and so I started fucking around with assets. I hope I can swear. That came out.
I don't care, man.
Okay, thank God. I was fucking around with assets, and someone mentioned like putting a snail on screen, so I did. And it just blew up from there. I died by snail that stream, and then it became my lore. So that's like the only significant piece of lore I have. Before I had that, I was just a mushroom turned human.
I mean, whatever makes you stand out, man, that's what counts. As long as...
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there have been multiple instances where I've said that bit of lore and people had been like, whoa, okay, hold up. What the fuck is that shit? Because it's like one of those things where you died by snail? What the fuck?
Yeah, the immortal snail. I don't know what his name is, but he did it. That's the next thing you gotta flesh out, is his name. Or her name. Or their name.
There's likely gonna be some sort of story arc. He showed up in my like debut coverage in like a news broadcast form where like it was the aftermath of the snail incident and there was a bunch of stuff. But yeah, hopefully there's a story arc there. But
The
I haven't
snail
devised it
incident
yet.
of 2023. I expect a
Yes,
whole
exactly.
video titled that. It's the snail incident of 2023.
That's gonna be the like title of my stream highlights for 2023. The snail incident of 2023.
And just a snail with like freaking red demon eyes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god.
Just like a deep fried snail with red eyes.
Oh my god, that would be too good. I know I would click on that without a doubt. The snail incident of 2023.
I appreciate you. I appreciate your interest in my snail lore.
I mean, if anybody can sit through my long retcon convoluted lore, then they can listen about a snail. Oh gosh. So how long have you been streaming / content creating, and what originally made you interested in it?
This is kind of a long story. So I originally started Twig as a channel in 2021. And I think I streamed for like 3 months, and then I took a 7-month long break because my PC is shit. And then I came back and started posting regularly about 7 months ago. So it's going well. But before that, I'm actually a digital media trained professional. I'm trained in Adobe, certified, all of this stuff. So I've worked for companies before, doing like product images, podcasts, branded Instagram pages, things like that. And that started around 2019. I started taking classes around 2017. So I've been making content for a pretty long time, a pretty substantial amount of time, just not on my channel. And I started taking classes kind of as an accident. I thought the class was like digital media or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that included like mixing music because at the time I wanted to be a musician because I play violin. And long story short, it did not turn out that way. It was much more Adobe Premiere focused and Adobe Photoshop focused. So I have those skills now, and I started working with them. And that's what I do, essentially.
I mean, if you're smart enough, I got no brains, so I might have to holler at you sometime because if you got the brains, all I am is the brawn, man. All I am is the brawn.
I don't think it's brains. So, like, learning Adobe to a professional level only took me like 2 years.
2 years more than I've been doing.
It's easy. You don't even need to like do half the shit that I did. So in order to get Adobe certified, you have to like study. Because in every Adobe software there's like 5 different ways to do like a specific thing. So say the prompt is like remove the background on this thing. There's 20 different ways to do that. But the thing about the Adobe certification is there's only one right answer. And they count the amount of misclicks you take. That was hell. So, yeah, I don't recommend getting Adobe certified, but I didn't have a degree, so that's what I did to be able to work.
I think it's pretty cool. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I always like to look at people's achievements, no matter what they are, and always give them as much value as I possibly can, because
that's valid.
You worked on something. That's what counts.
That's very true.
What counts. So that's a lot of Stuff. I was not expecting to hear about that. I like that.
Yeah, sorry. I don't really talk much about like my background in content, I guess, because you know, past lives, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was not previously a VTuber. But I have worked for like different pages and under different people and in teams and stuff. So, and yeah.
All that does is make it easier for you in the future. So that's
very
nothing to
true.
discount at all, because now not only have you built a brand prior, but now it's easier for you to build your own brand. Like I've
Very
had friends that were musicians prior, so it's easier for them to build a brand than it might be for me just jumping in out of nowhere. Like we said before,
Yeah.
I just wild card it. I just go in and I do it all myself and see what happens. They call me the Joker for a reason, baby.
Not the Joker. Oh,
Hold up. The Joker, baby.
Oh, no. I'm crying. No, but yeah, I don't know. I think the first time you create like a branding by yourself is really special. I still remember the first like brand kit I put together and like the first page I managed as like the brand person. I think it's special. I think it's something that you end up holding very close to your heart. Even if you like look back years later, it's like, oh yeah, that was shit. What was I even doing here? It's still kind of like I made that. And that was my first time making something like this. So yeah, it's nostalgic in a way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and all it shows in the long run is that you know more now and that you grew. It's never something. It's never something you should discount or devalue. It's only ever something that you should look at and just keep moving forward. And I'll tell people that a million times over, no matter what they say to me, is never look back at the past in a bad way. Always look at the growth in the future. I mean, you're a plant.
Exactly.
Come on.
The thing about like looking back is you never want to look back and find yourself in the same position as you were like 5 years ago, you know? So the fact that you're embarrassed by the stuff you did in the past, like that's a good thing in my book.
If I looked back at myself like 2 years ago when I was first starting this, would I have even thought about having a talk show like this? Probably not. It was something I wanted to do. Was it something that I ever put effort into? No. But now look at me. I even edit this shit myself. Like, never devalue what you had before. Only grow from it. We're all
very true.
Twig may actually be a plant, but we all are growing anyways.
I'm a fungus, thank you. I grow by spore.
Spore.
No, but well said, Yuki. Well said.
Spore, one of my favorite video games. Oh god. Oh god.
Oh god.
So, what originally drove you then to VTubing, and what were some of the inspirations for your model?
Okay, so this is a story and a half. I knew of VTubers before Halloween. I started following VTubers back in like 2019 or something because of Niji-sanji JP. Because I was studying Japanese. That's why I originally got into VTubers, because I saw them and I was studying Japanese, and I saw Kanae from Niji-sanji JP wishing his savings away in Genshin Impact, and I was like, haha, this is funny. And so I knew of them, and then a friend reached out to me and was like, hey, I'm thinking of becoming a VTuber. Do you want to make a group with me? Long story short, I think one person is surviving from that group, Oak and Catboy. I don't know where the rest of them are, but that group has disbanded. And we've all kind of gone our separate ways, and like I said, I had to take that long hiatus, but yeah, I think there's a value in having expressiveness while also not having to show your face or use your name. Especially since, you know, I already work in certain industries I would rather not cross with my shit posts. So, you know, it's a culmination of liking VTubers, well, liking a few VTubers, getting peer pressured by friends, and wanting to make shit posts, I guess. But yeah, model. What was it? I think I like. So this iteration of this model is very different from the first version of Twig. First version of Twig, which I can show you pictures later for post editing. Yeah, it's that meme. I'll show you in post. But, first iteration of Twig had mushroom-shaped hair. So that's where the mushroom came from. The ahoge was like more of a spiral. It was still yellow eyes, but it was much younger in appearance. When I came back, my main goal was kind of to take myself away from the cute kind of appearance because it wasn't what I felt comfortable or like loose doing, I think. And especially, I don't think my voice suits, you know? Can you imagine, like, some, like, teenage-looking model coming out with, like, this weird-ass fucking crackly, deep-ass voice? It didn't work very well. So I aged up my model. I gave it longer hair because I think it's just fun. I think ponytails are fun.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, it's not like we're both in the like same hairstyle range or anything. But yeah, so I gave it a ponytail. I started off with like a very simple outfit. And then I watched a few like other VTubers who had Vroids like me, who were more stylized, and I was like, that is so fucking cool. Especially since when I started VTubing, there was a whole thing of like, we like Vroids that don't look like Vroids, so like Vroids that are stylized. So I wanted to learn how to do that, and so I think for like 5 months or something, I just churned out models until I came out with this style. I literally like I did something like 20 models of just like different concepts. Some of them are like free adoptables that I have on my Vroid hub, but I did tons and tons until I came up with this style. I did Twig, and then I did a few models for free actually. And then someone was like, "You should open commissions maybe," and I was like, you know what, that maybe. So that's when that happened, and then I finally got a drawing tablet, so that has eased the pain of point and click. Yeah.
And that's something that I love to see too, is because I've talked to one of my friends, he's actually in the chat right now, about Vroid in the past, because he used to be a Vroid. And a lot of people discounted Vroids for the longest time, and I think that the main reason behind that was because, and this isn't again discounting anyone, but a lot of people were being very simplistic and not really putting a lot of effort into them. So that's why people were like, oh yeah, Vroids, it's just a random person with ears or something like that.
Like, when I first started VTubing, like first started VTubing, and like I've been using Vroid way before like VTubing stuff because I was into MMD and I liked making custom
Yeah.
3D models, whatever. But when I first started, it was still Vroid beta.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha had not come out yet. And the release of Alpha gave so much more capability to Vroid and what Vroid can actually do. So like in beta you couldn't layer clothing like you can in Alpha. And like in beta you can't move the hair meshes off of the head to make different things, and rigging is weird for hair, and there's so many like limitations in beta. There's also like no presets in beta either. It's just a complete drawing tab like program. So I don't really blame people
Yeah.
because it was like a new software and stuff, but also not everyone's an artist, and I think the beauty of like Vroid is the fact that it is free and it makes content accessible to like anyone and everyone, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Oh, most definitely. Now something that I got a wild card you on because it's not written down. With you actively using Vroids so frequently and creating 3D models for MMD and that kind of stuff, would you ever see yourself working in Blender too?
I have considered it. I've dabbled in Blender for other projects. I'm not super proficient in it. But I think before I learned Blender, I would learn Unity.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they kind of go together anyways.
Yeah. It's
And
like a hand-in-hand thing.
For those who aren't familiar, Unity and Blender are software that basically make 3D models. Like the majority of the ones that you'll see in games like VR Chat and that kind of stuff are ones that are either made or adapted in Unity and Blender. So, and there's a lot of people that do that now. Oh my god.
Very much so. Though I have had the honor of like having my Vroid models edited and like uploaded to VR Chat in Unity. So I have made Vroid models for VR Chat, which is fun. I like doing that.
That's actually super cool. One of these days I'm gonna put something together. I am a fool and I decided I want funny legs in VR Chat, so yeah, my wallet hurts, but now I have to be like, all right, well now I have legs too, so I guess I should make some content at some point. So the plan hopefully is to find some VR Chat creators, and maybe we'll even sit in a room and do this on there, hopefully in the future.
True.
I think that would be pretty fun. But that's a future thing when I actually get an adapted model, because I'm still using my model from like 2018. Somebody was judging me the other night. Sometimes I have the bad habit of going with the old reliable.
Instead of like updating, you know?
Yeah, because Lord knows I'm not smart enough to do anything in Unity or Blender. I've tried to just import things in Unity, and I can't even do that right. So we're not going to talk about that.
I really want to learn Unity, but it's just so... When I tried to learn it the first time, I had like a whole bunch of like licensing issues, and so I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this off for another day.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. But if you are somebody who little sneaky thing, if you are somebody who works in Unity or Blender, holler at me, because I'm trying to get a guest that does that. Wink wink, nudge nudge.
That would be very cool.
Carrying on a little bit more about your model, we kind of talked about this a little bit prior, but is there any direct lore behind your model, and how important do you think that is to a model and a brand?
There's very little lore. All of the lore that I have, I said previously.
Yeah.
I do have technical siblings that have all like graduated or been exterminated by various means. So there was one named Branch who was a branch who was blue themed, so we were pink and blue, and they got chopped down to create a local shopping mall. Said shopping mall sometimes shows up in like news briefings and stuff like that, funny little skits. And then there was a previous sibling named Roach who got bug sprayed, and that's how he made the ends. But yeah, no, I think lore isn't that important unless you want to have it personally. I think in terms of like audiences, most of the time they don't mind either way. Sometimes if you have really, really, really deep lore, like whole novels of lore, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming to audiences. But I think if you're going to have lore, the best part about it is getting your audience to make it with you. So things like the impromptu snail, that like that's how you get some of like the best lore, is just like taking shit that happen live with audiences and turning it into sort of like inside jokes or parts of your character or things like that, because then your audience kind of feels like they've impacted your content in a sort of way. I mean, I think that's partially why mediums like Dream SMP or Homestuck were super popular, right? Because there was that audience interaction. So I don't know. Letting your audience help you is what I will always advocate for.
And audience interaction is always just going to make you better as a creator itself.
And that's so hard on YouTube. I have to be creative, man. I can't just use channel points to get the audience interaction. I have to like actually build environments where they can interact with me.
This is why I personally could never do YouTube streaming. I just there are a lot of assets through Twitch that are very helpful. Like you'll see I integrated, because this is totally all for me. I integrated the PokeCatch, or the Pokemon community game, into my stream semi recently, and I'm hoping that helps out in the future. But I totally didn't just put it in there just so that when a Growlithe popped up I could catch it or anything. That's not a thing. Anybody calling me out, that's not a thing.
So not a like ulterior motive of having this game in your chat. Yeah, not for personal reasons at all. No, it's completely for the audience. Completely.
But those are just fun little things. I wonder, I don't think there is an integration, but I wonder if there's integrations like that for YouTube. That makes me curious.
I know there probably are.
Yeah.
But I choose purposefully not to use too many of those things. Just because me as a viewer, sometimes because I'm not like super into streaming culture, sometimes when I see those things, I get a little bit overwhelmed. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna interact my own way.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Though I have looked into like maybe trying to, which I have no foundation in programming. I have like one thing that I've programmed ever, but I've looked into maybe learning some stuff to maybe create stuff to interact with chat later on. But obviously that would be a learning curve, and that's far out from now.
I got a person that you can talk to if you ever want to. I know somebody. We're just gonna go back and forth with the connections. Here we go.
Yes. We're gonna connect the Twig circle and the Yuuki circle until it's just a big web.
I mean, that's really the goal for me in the VTuber space, is just to have like somebody that I can holla at for a little bit of everything. And so that when I'm playing video games, I'm not playing by myself.
This is true. This is true.
So what made you choose a Vroid then, and when did you start creating them? I know we kind of went over that a little bit.
So, okay, Vroid stuff. It kind of ties back into me creating the channel, having that digital media background and being like, you know what? I've made channels before. I can do everything. Turns out I could not do everything. I had previous experience doing Vroid, but not for VTubing. I had experience doing it for like silly little dancing videos. Wah ha ha, I'm gonna make OCs and make them dance in Miku Miku Dance, and that's what I'm gonna do for my free time. So I did know the program, but I was sitting here like debating like PNG tuber, live 2D, Vroid, and then I was like, I'm not an artist. Let me just pick up Vroid. Turns out Vroid is an art form.
Yeah.
And I was very bad at it in the beginning. I cringe at my old models. Thank God they're not for VTubing, otherwise other people would have seen them. But yeah, it's really the cost effectiveness that made me start using Vroid for my specific purposes. But yeah, previously it was just ha ha ha, funny anime girls dancing, haha.
Now, if you had the opportunity to go live 2D, would you?
Thought about it, but ultimately I'm just kind of in a point where I just kind of think 3D is cooler. I might be biased, but like I like being able to just like do this, you know. Like I like having different angles of my model.
Bruh.
Sorry for wreaking havoc.
I thought I was gonna get eaten for a second there. I was scared.
You don't like it when I like zoom in?
Vor live on camera. Help! Help! Help!
But yeah, I like the 3D. I like being able to like move around and having like that. I don't know.
And I mean,
the big design, I guess.
I can completely understand because just putting our models next to each other. Yes, I have a ponytail. Does it move nearly as much as yours? Absolutely not, because I'm not 3D. Would my tail be even fluffier if I was 3D? Probably.
I can also like add to my movement range too. I can...
Yeah. And I mean, going off of 3D modeling in Vroid, you also have hand capture and stuff that you can put in later too.
True.
And that's not as accessible for a 2D model.
Very true. Yeah. I've seen like one 2D model that has some semblance of hand tracking, but it's complicated and it's incredibly impressive, but I can't imagine how expensive that is.
Oh, yeah.
No.
There's
I will stick to
more
my $30
brain cells
3D.
in them than there is in me tenfold.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So kind of building off of that a little bit too. What has been your experience thus far with doing commissions on Fiverr?
I love the people who commissioned me, honestly, man. Everyone's been so sweet. Everyone's been so kind. I love them so much. Fiverr's fun for me, honestly. Because I get to see people's designs and I get to like see their reactions to like me making the model too, because I send updates throughout just so that if something is wrong, we can catch it early and change it before having to like export and then redo and then export and then redo. But yeah, Fiverr, I've had no bad experiences so far. Everyone's been incredibly nice. I have a streak of like 5-star reviews. I think I have like 8 5-star reviews right now. Um, and yeah, I'm incredibly proud of every like Fiverr model that I make. I don't stop working on a model until I'm proud of it. So yeah, it's yeah.
That's what I love to hear, because I hate the amount that we have to see of like the artist community getting hassled, or people trying to pull something out from under them, or whether it be the artist side or the commissioner side. Like
That's also
I
partially
love hearing
why
that.
I love Fiverr too. Like as a platform, as a creator on Fiverr, I like it for both security on both ends, but also for tax reasons. They make taxes easy, which
Oh,
I am so thankful for.
that's
Because taxes are scary.
yeah, that's very valid. I remember somebody I watched used to make all kinds of videos on Fiverr filth. I love to death that. So I've always been curious what like a commission, or what the Fiverr side of things is, as opposed to like the
Mm.
art Twitter side of things. Because I've never really looked, if I'm being completely honest. But I know a lot of people have gone through Fiverr.
Yeah, so there are security measures in place for both ends. You have to pay before commissioning someone,
Mm,
and that money gets held. No one gets the money on either end until the commission is agreed upon that it's like finished. Once it's agreed upon that it's finished, that money has to wait in processing for a set amount of time before it can go into the seller's like deposit. So the buyer is protected, the seller's protected because everything's watermarked until they approve the delivery.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's a really handy platform. I recommend it a lot. And they also advocate for people to tip, which is really nice. But I, if they don't tip, I don't mind because
Not
I'm
everybody
just
can
happy
tip.
to.
I just love when
Yeah,
people can. It's great. Shows all the love in the world. Um, yeah, and I know that there's more platforms popping up too, because I know VGen's a thing now, that a lot of my friends are on
hmm.
VGen. So I'm interested to see how the community continues to use Fiverr or Art Twitter or VGen, because now there's becoming more and more resources. Because I used to have to
Very true.
throw stuff out on Twitter and get like 5 bajillion bots.
Bots, yeah. I think that's also a great thing about Fiverr is the discoverability.
Mhm.
Sure you have to like do quite a few orders before you get recommended, but once you start getting recommended, like I have not had a day off from having a queue since like I got 3 or so orders. Ever since I got 3 or so orders, they've just come and I've had to queue up like 5 or 6 people at a time. So I'm busy, but that's a good thing.
Also, people yell at Twig to raise her prices because she deserves better.
No, I won't. I won't raise my prices. There's a reason for that, and that is because not only am I getting enough commissions at this point to sustain that level of pricing,
Mm.
um but also I want to keep my commissions open for people who maybe can't afford like the $50 model or the $60 model, you know? And also Vroid's a free software with free assets, and I sometimes do use those assets or alter those assets. So I think $30 is a fair price. And it's a like approachable price. And
Mhm.
of course, there are add-ons that you can get. You can get like rendered PNGs from me, where I put like all of the shading and stuff in there, and like have the character posed and stuff, which that's like 7 or 8 pictures that you get out of that, and then like you can get the source file as well, which allows you to edit the textures yourself. And those are all like extra things, but I want to keep the base price low, just for like accessibility reasons.
That's very
I like seeing new
fair.
creators.
I just like to fight artists. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I will always fight my artist friends over saying that you deserve the world. And if you say otherwise, then I'll poke you in the nose.
That's very true. I see some of my friends' art and I'm like, you are paid way too little, but then I'm hypocritical.
Yes.
It's that thing where like the doctor's the worst patient kind of feeling.
I'm gonna bully you for something, but you're not allowed to bully me for.
Exactly, because I have reasons behind my pricing.
God damn it. They got me. So I know that you do a little bit of both, but it definitely seems like video content creation is more so your forte. What makes you choose to do more video content creation over streams?
That mainly comes down to comfort, really. I'm more experienced making videos because that's what I was trained on. So, I have no problem releasing a video like once a week, twice a week, you know, that sort of schedule. But when it comes to streaming takes so much out of me because I'm so worried about stuff like dead air or not paying attention to chat and potentially missing messages and all of these other things. I get in my head about it a lot, so I end up not streaming as much, even though it does end up doing pretty well recently. I think one of my recent streams got like 400 views on it or something.
Damn.
But in terms of videos, also they have a lot more growth on YouTube, and that's my main platform. So I do focus on keeping those to a much more consistent schedule than my streams. Though my streams are going on to a more consistent schedule. I stream every other week at this point. Because I feel more comfortable doing it.
Don't worry, I'll drag you on a stream sometime. I got you.
I would love that. Though streaming's kind of hell for me right now because I still haven't done my 200 subscriber special and people keep subscribing to me, so there's going to be like a 3-week period where it's 200 subscriber special, 250 subscriber special. And I just have to do them back to back because people just don't stop supporting me, which is mean and homophobic. They should really stop supporting me. But
oh
yeah.
my god. Oh my god. Oh, you and another one of my friends always like, this is homophobic that you did this nice thing for me. Oh my god. I will never get over that. So kind of bouncing off of that then too, what made you choose to go the route of YouTube streaming over Twitch streaming?
That goes, as much as I would love to have another platform, I've tried Twitch streaming. My network hates it. I can't even watch Twitch streams half the time. It's a wonder if I can stay in there without having to refresh like every 20 minutes or so. So it's really just purely tech requirement, and then that just kind of turned into, oh, my streams do really well on YouTube. Maybe I should continue streaming here.
That's that's a very fair reason, because I like to
Yeah.
bully people to diversify their portfolio, if you will. I've been talking about that a lot lately, and how I need to diversify my content for growth. But I'm always going to bully everybody else before myself.
That goes into back into Doctor's the Worst Patient. But yeah, I do have other platforms that I do post on, namely TikTok, Twitter, Tumblr, Hoyoverse, and Vroid Hub. Those are my main platforms that I tend to post my content on, but also post shit posts. If you ever see my Tumblr posts, they're kind of unhinged. They're not promoting my videos normal ways. I think I posted a Genshin video once that was like, resinless behavior you say as you stumble upon this post, and then you expand the post and it's my video, and then I say like, and you would be right. So I do a lot of that sort of shit on Tumblr because that's the place to do that shit.
I know it's a rarity for me to still see people on Tumblr, and I kind of love that for them.
There's kind of a community.
I know, because everybody
surprising.
said they were gonna jump ship to Tumblr for a minute there, and then it didn't really end up happening, which I'm not really surprised after.
I see a lot of VTubers on Tumblr, but the thing I think that I don't want to say anyone's doing anything wrong, but I think what people could improve on doing is, instead of just being like, hey, this goes for any platform really, but instead of just going, hey, I'm live here, find me here, give the person reading that a reason to care. Which sounds super harsh, but if you think about it, like, if you follow VTubers, that is your entire stream of content that you're flipping through. I'm streaming here. Watch this video. Why do I care about any of this content that you're creating?
Instead, we say, hey, look at the garbage king. Sorry, the trash king. Whatever the hell you want to call him.
Let's talk about the trash of Honkai Star Rail for 10 minutes and voice the trash the trash dialogues.
We love that for you. We love it so much.
Yes. That kind of goes into like video content as well, though. Like, why would someone watch this video if they don't care about you, like, or your content? If this person doesn't know you, doesn't have like an attachment to you, why would they watch this Twitch compilation that you have made? What's intriguing about it? I don't know, just some food for thought, I guess.
No, and that's definitely something that I've heard time and time again. It's like something that I was bad at for the longest time is I would tweet going live tweets without even having like an image or anything, just that I'm going live. And I've learned my lesson over time, because Twitter doesn't like us anyways, so you already have to like force your way in however you can, because hashtags aren't the way anymore, unfortunately.
I can let you in on the Twigs special secret for Tumblr promotion posts, or Twitter promotion posts rather. First off, if you're posting a YouTube video, you already have a thumbnail for said YouTube video. Put that in the tweet. Just put it in the tweet. It makes it so much more visually interesting, and it catches the eye, especially if you're good at making thumbnails that catch the person's eye and be kind of like, what the fuck am I gonna watch? Do I want to watch this? Put it in the tweet, and then if you can, create intrigue about the video that you've created. Talk about something weird that happens, or like something that like makes the person reading that tweet want to watch that video. I think that's like the two main things that you should do besides just posting your link.
I mean, it kind of correlates with one of the things that I hate the most, but really does work, is the stay tuned for the end because something crazy happens kind of idea.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. That's kind of getting outdated in terms of YouTube. That used to work very, very well. But I think there's this one video that I watched from a YouTube editor, which something about Twig's obsessed with creator education. There's a reason that Twig stumbled upon this series and watched all of the episodes. There's a video I watched from the editor of, I think, like a few huge not VTubers, YouTubers, just like millions and millions of views. Something he said can pretty much summarize anything in YouTube. You want to leave your viewer with a different experience that they went in going with. So say they're like watching that video. Are they going to be happier by the end? Are they going to get something out of that video by the end? Are they going to learn something? What are you offering to your viewer, basically? Because that's what entertainment and streaming is, really. Your viewers are not there to entertain you. You're the entertainment. So keeping that in mind while you're creating pretty much any content does a really good job of like helping you be mindful of like what might need to stay in your videos and what could go, essentially. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sorry if that was long-winded.
There's nothing wrong with it, bro. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
I have a tendency to ramble quite a bit.
Bro, you've watched my videos.
This is true.
So how did you originally get into the Hoyoverse content, and why is that kind of the focus of your content?
Okay, so the beginning of my Genshin account was the beginning of my Hoyoverse addiction. I am free to play in all of Hoyoverse's games, and I did not originally play Genshin on any sort of content, but what I found the most like fun for me in those games was co-op, was fucking around with my friends in voice chat doing dumb shit. And so when it came to the point where I was going to come back to YouTube as a VTuber, which that was a whole process. I lost like, I think I started coming back with like 60 subscribers and then lost like 15 after I posted my first video. It was bad. It was the beginning of the Sumeru update, like the first Sumeru update, and I was like, you know what? This update's coming out. We know when launches. Let's just film a video and come back with it. And that's what I did. And then I stayed consistent, uploading once or twice a week for 7 months. And I experimented. I tried Stardew, I tried Final Fantasy XIV, which is currently the bane of my existence because it's the most popular series on my channel, and I've decided not to play that game for content anymore. I've tried Minecraft as well. I've tried The Sims. The Sims content is archived because that did not do well. But I decided that, like, hey, Hoyoverse games are really fun to make into videos. And I think that shows in my videos because those are the videos that do well on my channel. So in addition to creating sort of a niche where my audience has an expectation of they're going to click on my video and know what they're getting into, it's kind of that, like, see the thing, reward, and then move on kind of mentality. Genshin's just really fun, and Hoyoverse is just really fun, and I don't have the problem that I do with Final Fantasy XIV, where it feels taxing to make those videos.
Yeah, and that's something that I've talked to people in the past about, is specifically Final Fantasy. Um this specifically relates to it. So you'll find, like, I have like one lame clip on my Twitch from a Final Fantasy stream because it was a joke between me and my friends. And Final Fantasy streams do really well. Do I want to do them?
Well.
Hell no.
Exactly.
God, I hate that game.
Oh, I mean, I don't hate the game. I enjoy the game. It's just the, like, that game has such an atmosphere to it, especially since I am free to play in that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
It naturally pushes me into a niche, which is an interesting thing, and it's why some of my Final Fantasy videos have thousands of views.
Mm-hmm.
But the process of recording Final Fantasy in a way that, like, honors the game, and then also scripting videos and voicing them specifically for Final Fantasy is a struggle for me. It's not a game that I want to do content on. And
yeah,
so.
and I mean, seeing the video that you're talking about on your channel too, like, it did really good. But I completely understand the concept of, like, people do these things for growth, or people do these things because they know that it's gonna do well. Do we want to continue to do it? Do we want to really force ourselves into this corner? Because personally,
Yeah.
I know myself, I do not. Like,
and I know for a fact that me deciding not to continue with Final Fantasy XIV uploads is hindering my growth, but I'm still growing.
Yeah.
I'm still growing exponentially. So I'm just kind of at a point where I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I need to make it sustainable. But yeah.
So that's throwing it at everybody out there. Just because something makes you grow or something does really well right off the bat doesn't mean that that's something that's gonna have to lock you down, or, like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, the things that make them stand out for me the most aren't even the fact that they are about that game. It just they have really good comedic titles. They're titles that will draw me in. That's why.
That's the whole game of YouTube, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting that click and then having the person stay is the game of YouTube.
I'm learning that. I'm learning that as we go. But yeah, this is my hate rant on Final Fantasy. I'll have you know,
why do you hate that game?
I have a character that is a Lalafell, and we've talked about this before. Of course
you're a fucking Lalafell.
No, I am not. I am not. This was for a meme because I had a friend who is really, really into Final Fantasy, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do something that pisses them off as much as possible.
Oh no.
So I made a character called Stewie Griffin Family Guy. And I tried to make Stewie Griffin in Final Fantasy XIV. And guess what? They don't let you take the hair off of the Lalafell. And that is what made me stop playing it. Specifically because of that. Nothing else.
I hate that so much.
I mean, they did too. So, mission accomplished.
You're such a memer. I love that.
Hello, it is me, Stewie Griffin, Family Guy.
God. No, I have a character, I won't say on what server, but I have a character that is named the IRS. And that has created a lot of fun scenarios where I'm, like, chasing down someone who says they have tax evasion in like their adventure card or something. It's a lot of fun to have those joke
I'm evading
characters.
tax fraud. Surprise, bitch, it's the IRS.
No, it gets so much, that character gets so much love anytime they show up anywhere.
I hope that it is the biggest, beefiest character you can possibly make too.
It's like, it's a beefy ginger woman who wields a pole arm.
Basically what you're saying is I'm going to commit tax fraud on purpose. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's also partially why that character gets so much love.
You have two options. You can be a little cat boy that gets a bunch of attention because of reasons, or you can be a big mommy.
Well, she wasn't Rogadin. She was actually Highlander. So, more of a rarer specimen, I guess.
I mean, so my experience with Final Fantasy XIV, this is the last we're going to go with it, is I was told that there is a place where you enter and there's just cat boys doing things.
Balmond.
And yep. We're just going to end there.
I made so many friends there.
We're not going to talk about the supposed billboard.
That's where all the memers are. Oh my god, the billboard. I was actually at that party.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh god, it was so boring. It was not worth the memes. But yeah, I do play on Crystal. So that adds to a lot of the content that I was going to make, but then I was like, I don't have the motivation to make this.
Well, and one of the things that I will say to out there is I have a friend who's a partner now who I feel like really originally established her content on Final Fantasy because she had a is it called a free company?
Yeah.
She had a really big one. And I think a lot of like her original fan base came from that. And then it went into like Monster Hunter and some stuff like that. Like she's a Capcom creator now, which is pretty cool. But she's the perfect example of establishing your brand with something, but then expanding,
branching out.
Yeah, like she still does Monster Hunter stuff because that's just like an obligation as a Capcom creator altogether.
Which I think that's the smartest way to do things too. Because if you have a niche like that, it's going to ultimately bring more people. But as you grow, those people get more familiar with you as a creator. So you're no longer dealing with that problem of like no one cares about your content because they don't know you. People know you now. So content that branches out from that initial niche is going to do well.
And then she's just really funny as hell anyways. She's a meme lord.
True, you have to have an endearing personality. Endearing personality is everything. But
that
also
really helps.
Zooming into your face sometimes doesn't help.
I know, I still have to set that up. Because there is a thing, I never ended up setting it up because I kept getting confused on how to do it. But that's a story for another day. We already know I have no brain cells. Don't watch the stream from a couple days ago.
Hey, I was there.
Yeah, no, you didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh god. Oh my god. I
still remember the mess you made.
I was just everywhere. I don't know. I should make a TikTok out of that. That's perfect example of my brain. Oh god. Oh god.
You should indeed. And maybe a YouTube short while you're at it.
Maybe. YouTube shorts confuse me though. I'm gonna have to have you teach me about YouTube shorts because I'm too dumb to understand the upload process for those.
It's very easy.
I'm not very smart.
I can explain it to you. Basically, all YouTube shorts are, you just need to upload it with a virtual aspect ratio and then have it under a certain time frame. So instead of having horizontal videos, just upload vertical videos under a certain time limit and they automatically become shorts.
I think it's also partially because of my grudge, because I kept having to edit down a clip because Elon only lets you have so many minutes for a clip on Twitter. And so I'm still mad about because I probably cut it like 10 times. This is not a joke. Like, I kept being like, oh, it's like a second over, it won't be an issue. No. Being a second over, they will still not let you upload it. And this is not me like exaggerating at all. This is absolutely
it's a hard
serious. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So moving back over to YouTube content a little bit more, what do you think makes for a good YouTube video and why? We've kind of glossed over it. What do you think can...
There's so many things. There's so many elements there. Okay, so let's go down the list, shall we? First thing you want is a title. A title that creates interest. That's a good thing to have. Second thing you want to have is a good thumbnail that is clear and not too busy and shows something that happens in the video or shows something that correlates with the title. Complimentary thumbnails are a thing. Don't just repeat what's in the title. Make your thumbnail kind of stand out because that's the first thing people see. So that's how you get clicks. Title, thumbnail. That's how you start to get views. Second thing, you want to make sure that because people's attention spans are very short, you want to make sure that there aren't significant pauses most of the time. Sometimes it's okay. If it's like a podcast or something like this where it's like you're intended to walk away from the screen for a while, that's fine. But if you're doing something like my niche where it's gaming videos, high energy, weird shit's happening all the time, yeah, you're gonna want to make those cuts and make sure there aren't like weird gaps in the content where it just kind of lulls for a bit. You also want to make sure that like, hey, things are clear, there's a story arc there, or like there's something that the viewer's getting out of this video. It's not just you being satisfied with yourself because you're the only one who cares about that, frankly. There's some other stuff. There's like technical things too, like if you can get into keyframes and learn how they work, they are so fun for editing. Having the ability to like, a perfect example of this is like my trash video where I have the text moving, the background moving, and myself moving. That's like so fun to do. That's all keyframes. So once you understand keyframes, your editing's gonna be so much better. But yeah, doing that, you want to make sure that at the end, not necessarily asking for people to subscribe, but asking for people to watch more is more important. Because subscribers come with watch time, come with engagement, come with views. So you should always be striving for more viewers than you have subscribers as like a golden rule. But yeah, I think that's the gist of it. That's like the Spark Notes version without getting into like super technical branding things. Recognizability and brand recognition is also really fun. So like if you have a specific font or something, or you have a character that you can pose in your thumbnails, that's going to help a lot of your current subscribers click on your video. But for the most part, for YouTube, you want to be advocating for newer viewers and less for the people who already watch you because you already have them and they already interact with you. that sounds bad, but it's just kind of how that platform works.
I mean, that's just the business mindset, which
Yeah.
isn't necessarily a bad thing for content creation. In terms of video format, it all makes sense. Like, when we go back
Yeah.
to streaming format, like, obviously it's the adverse. Like, you
Yeah.
want to get new people, but the best thing to start out with is consistency.
The regulars. And the
Exactly.
consistent people. Yeah. It's completely opposite for videos, which is, I think, where people struggle, because a lot of people who
That's
come from
where
Twitch
my brain
build their
is, yeah.
like, a lot of people from Twitch build their channel catering to the people who already watch them, instead of kind of trying to reach new audiences.
Mm-hmm. And I'm very much only familiar with creating content that has a VOD that people want to watch. So,
well, if it's something like long or a
Mhm.
VOD, first of all, please do what Yuki does and edit your VODs. Please don't just post them vanilla. The amount of VODs I see that aren't created on YouTube, where like you have like, I don't know, 15 minutes of starting soon still there, or like just like huge gaps in between talking. You don't need any of that stuff. Just take it out before you upload it. Please do it. It will make your video so much easier to watch. Second of all, title and thumbnail your VODs like they're regular videos. Your VODs will not get views unless they get clicks. So that still applies. Also, if you're going to upload something really long like a VOD, or even if you're streaming on YouTube, treat it like a regular video. And that means doing the timestamps. I know it's tedious. I'm still working on timestamps from my last stream. I know. Do them. It helps, because if a viewer gets bored of one section and they see a section that is coming up that they might be interested, it keeps them on that video longer, and that helps your watch hours, which helps your engagement, which helps your views, which helps your subscribers. It's all kind of like a culmination of all of these things. So, yeah. Treating VODs like videos is also a huge thing that I wish people would do more often. But yeah, not everyone's YouTube focused, which is completely fine. If you don't want to do YouTube, it's fine.
Also, don't give me too much credit, because I am doing the exact opposite of what you were telling people, but I'm also still riding my learning curve. So I'm only giving myself that because of that. So do what Twig does. Don't do what Yuuki does, because Yuuki does the wrong things. Like, I got yelled at the other day literally because and I'm never going to discredit what my friends tell me, because most of the time I should just freaking listen. My friend yelled at me the other day because when I put titles on my my like images, my brain just stopped functioning. I've been putting black on red because my eyes can read that better.
That's the worst shit. That's the worst.
But
okay, for anyone who doesn't know, black and red on YouTube thumbnails is the hardest shit to read. Never put it on there. Also, cursive fonts, italic fonts, you want something that is preferably yellow or white with a black stroke that is bold. Few words. Not a sentence. 5 words max. Honestly. That's all you need for text. The most of it, the majority of it should be a, like, image. At least in my eyes, but
so
yeah.
don't give me too much credit.
Please do not put red in your thumbnails. Please do not put red in your thumbs. I will repeat that until the day I die. Please do not put red in your thumbnails.
I can't believe you gave me credit and you said that you watched my videos. Come on, bro. Come on.
Okay, yeah, your thumbnails aren't the best, but your video, I was talking about like the fact that you do edit your videos and you do put timestamps in there, because I don't see a lot of people doing that.
Well, and that's something that I was taught pretty quickly was if I don't put them in there, then nobody's going to watch. And the main reason
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
because I could, if I really tried, I could turn this into short form content. But
Yeah.
realistically, I'm going with the mindset of people who like video essay content.
Yeah.
And people like video essay content even though it's long, but sometimes you do just want to skip to like specific things. So
Exactly.
there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that either. Most of the time I can see exactly where people skip to, and it's
Oh yeah,
usually
it's so
because of
fun.
one specific thing that's said. It's usually because other VTubers think that if they skip to the what is your one tip kind of thing,
Uh,
that they're going to get all the answers in the
they're gonna
world.
get everything.
And I love you all, but that's not how that works. I'm so
You have to.
sorry.
I think a lot of newer content creators don't understand just how much, specifically YouTube, is a marathon. You're gonna get like some people who blow up really, really quickly, but in order to grow, you have to be consistent, not just in schedule, but in content. Um, to really get payoff at all on the platform. So you have to be there for like months and months and months and months. There's no get famous with this one thing tip. Um sure, you can get help. Sure, watching these things can help, and like if you're watching this, it's a good step in the right direction. You're like making an effort to learn these things, but there's no one tip anyone can give you to grow exponentially. It's a culmination of things.
Absolutely. I couldn't say it any better myself. So now moving on more to your specific content. Um,
Yes.
I like the way that I phrase this too, so I should just read it word for word. Your most recent video on trash did
I am
really
a trash
well.
woman.
Why do you think it did so well, and what do you think you can take away and put into future videos?
There's a combination of reasons I think this video on literal trash went well. First being it is a video on literal trash, and that is intriguing. Komainu Yuki probably saw that thumbnail and was like, what the fuck is this shit? And clicked on it. That is exactly why it got views like it did. Also, it's part of a game that just got released, so people are watching for it. It's also from a portion of the game that a lot of people were getting to at that point. So people are looking for trash things, and there was already like kind of memes about it in the community. So having a long form video on it, people are kind of familiar with what the video might be about, so they want to look at it, see more. Um, so it was a combination of things, but what surprised me about it is the fact that my voice overs did well. Because for me they're kind of hit or miss. Most of my scripted content either does really, really well or really, really bad. Um, and for a while I would kind of curb scripted content, just because I have this thing where if I'm reading a script, I stutter like a motherfucker. You can't tell when I'm speaking. It's very present when I'm reading. So those videos are naturally harder for me to make, but I like making them because they can be very creative, like the trash video. So I think since that video did pretty well, and other videos like it have done pretty well. I think I'm gonna start scripting some more videos in the future, which I do have a scripted series that I'm working on, where I read all of the books in Genshin Impact. I've only done the First Nation. I've only done Mondstadt, but I'm halfway through Leeway, so look forward to it. But yeah, I think I won't shy away from scripting videos, and that also kind of takes away the issue of like a lot of YouTube content on gaming specifically is kind of low barrier to entry, so the market is pretty saturated. So voiced content and scripted content is kind of an alternative to that, which I think is kind of smart. I have a friend who does a lot of scripted content, and he only does a video a month. But all of those videos do super well because he puts time and effort into those videos, and they're super high quality. I recommend him so much. His channel is Z Storm. And yeah, he basically encouraged me way in the beginning about like voicing over scripts specifically, and yeah, that helped a lot. I see you adding notes.
Hey, you don't see anything. I'm trying to get better about it. Come on, man. Don't call me out like that.
Okay, I won't look at my second monitor then.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. See, but I'm the opposite because I am very much a non-script person. I am the epitome of wildcard bitches, and that's what I think a lot of my viewers or a lot of my friends really enjoy. Is I want people to hear from other creators, hey, this is something that can help, but I also don't want to lock you into that corner. Like,
very true.
Scripting is great. A great example is the first edited talk show that I did with Yem. And I talked to her a little bit about this prior and how she said that she didn't think that she'd ever be able to do a lot of streaming because she's not good at doing stuff off the cuff. So it really is, you need to find what you're better at from the get-go. Just because your favorite creator says, I write out my scripts. Like, I wasn't even writing out my scripts. My scripts only exist so that I can edit videos easier. Realistically, I will go on tangents for days and I will be funny. I will give myself that. I don't give myself much, but I'll give myself that. But just never lock yourself in a corner either, because that's how your content gets stale. So
that's very true. I do think that like having a good mix of both can really be beneficial. Especially if you're like me and you like planning things. Sometimes it's fun to just like write out a literal essay on garbage, and make something out of it because you just feel like it. But the majority of my channel isn't scripted, and I think it's gonna stay that way. I just think my insecurities about scripted content kind of got to me for a while, so I kind of avoided doing it. So
one of my favorite examples of avoiding scripting is actually a channel that I go from watching a lot to kind of not having time to, is Neebs Gaming. I love them to death. They do Arc 7 days. Right now they're doing Grounded too. And something that they put at the beginning of every single one of their videos for the longest time was, this is not scripted. because people were asking for the longest time, oh, is this guy scripting that he's this bad? No, he's just really shitty at video games, and like that's what I love to death about him.
I relate to that so bad.
So not they're creating like a whole atmosphere and a whole storyline that they're a part of, but they're not scripting it, and I kind of love that about them. That's one of the reasons that I went back to them so much. So scripting's fun, not scripting's fun. One of my favorite things to watch on Twigs channel is watching one of their friends get nailed with icicles every 2 seconds, because
I feel perceived right now. Oh my god, how much of my channel did you watch in preparation for this? What the fuck?
Don't worry about it.
Oh god.
Don't worry about it. I have eyes everywhere. I may not be false ID, but I do have 2 eyes on my head.
Oh god, but yes, Genshin co-op is definitely one of the highlights of my channel because so much shit happens in them.
Then I gotta ask, what's your opinion on the fact that there isn't a real like co-op format in Star Rail? And if you think it's going to show up, how do you think it's going to show up?
I don't mind it, honestly. If it did show up, I wouldn't be surprised if it was kind of like Wizard 101's like co-op fight mechanic where like everyone takes turns kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like a big circle with bosses. I hate that I just compared Honkai Star Rail to Wizard 101, but you know, it's out of my mouth now.
Something that I said from the get-go, which I'm fairly certain is going to be how it's done, is raid systems. That's the easiest way for there to be a turn-based combat with multiple people in there. Honkai 101. Oh no.
But Honkai 101. Oh god. But yeah, I don't mind that it's actually solo player. I know that like most of my content is co-op, but I do like having things like solo streams. Like the snail stream was the solo stream. So
the SNAIL Incident of 2023.
I'm entertained. Usually the content's good. The content only gets bad when I start getting bored, and that's when I start causing chaos. So the content's still good because then I'm just entertaining myself.
I mean, I feel like that kind of correlates with one of the people that appears on your streams a lot that you don't say to follow, you say to block.
Beetle! Yeah, Beetle actually doesn't make content. Beetle's just like a friend of mine. And so he's considering making content right now. He might release a video at some point. There's no promise of that. But yeah, block Beetle.
I'm gonna have to reach out to them because we have the same sense of humor, and I think we'd get along really well. But anyways, enough about me. So kind of going into where I like to bring everybody to, this is a little bit more of a hot topic. I know we've been kind of laid back. What is your opinion on the current VTuber space? And if there was one thing you would change, what would it be?
You know, for a VTuber, I'm not really involved in the community as much as,
and that's okay.
Like, yeah, I'm not so concerned with VTuber culture because I don't really see VTubing as a niche in it of itself. Maybe in like 2021 you could have seen it as a niche where like people were being categorized as VTubers, but I think now it's more of just like a format of content than anything. It doesn't define the content at all. That being said, VTuber culture can get kind of weird because of the like whole idol thing that happens with it, which I'm no stranger to. I have experiences with idol culture previously, but I wish that more indie creators would not follow in company culture, if that makes sense.
It does. No,
Where,
it does.
like, variety streaming's great, but like if you're just starting out as an indie, maybe think about like what kind of content you want to make. You're not so much a company persona as you are a content creator, and I think that gets lost on a lot of like newer creators, where they look for VTuber specific advice instead of just content creator advice or like platform advice. So yeah, it's just something to think about.
You have been
depending
on the
who you are.
safe side, and I am very happy to hear that. Because this kind of area of content has gone from categorized to catty in like 2 seconds flat.
What?
I am happy to hear that there are still VTubers that don't have to interact in the negatives. So
I think also as like a VTuber, it's kind of on you to create a space that you feel welcome in, especially on Twitter. So if you interact with a lot of drama on Twitter, sure, yes, that's what you're gonna see all the time because you're interacting with it. You're fueling the algorithm. The algorithm sees you interacting with drama, and it's like, okay, we're gonna bring you more drama. If you're just like normal about shit, you'll be fine.
but I have to be the VTuber TMZ. Come on. No, that's what False ID and Kyo are for. They can stir up drama all they want. I'm good. I'm here to talk about my friends.
Yes.
We're just here to talk about trash and people getting hit with icicles.
Yes. The epitome of my content.
So this is something that I wanted to ask because this is a common question for a lot of people. And I feel like it's not asked and answered in a way that's like easy to digest, if you will, because it's just kind of, I'll ask the question just to make it make more sense. Since we've seen a lot of fun characters in your videos, what helped you meet them, and what would be some tips for newer VTubers to make relationships like that? Because I see a lot of people trying to force their way into friendships in VTubing culture, and they aren't going about it the right steps. Namely, because most of the time they're going, hey, let me think of somebody right off the bat. I don't know. Somebody big. Zentreya. Whatever. That's just the first one that popped in my head. I want to make friends with them. That's not how that works. I'm sorry, friend. That's not how that works. It's those little steps. Maybe someday you'll talk to them. Maybe someday you'll interact with them. But yeah, there's baby steps. And honestly, the goal of meeting a celebrity, it doesn't have to be a thing.
Right? So the first thing is, I hate to break it to you, but self-promotion is not friendship. You shouldn't be like forming relationships with the idea of like, this is going to give me clout, or this is going to aid me in some way. You should be just genuinely forming bonds with people that you find good interaction with. So people you like interacting with on, say, Twitter, or people like you like to go into their streams because you just like their funniness and stuff. Numbers aren't super big when you're still small. Like I don't really look at how small someone's channel is when I'm interacting with them. I more so look at the content that they're making. And the big thing about making friends is actually showing up. You want to show up where they are. You want to call them and play with them off stream. That's a big thing. But yeah, forming genuine bonds with people that you like to collaborate with helps building your own collaborations where you're exposing yourself to new people. Like, I have a whole Twitter list of just people I want to collab with if I get the opportunity and the schedules line up. And I do pull these people for collabs, even if I haven't collabed with them before, because I like having the exposure to new people. And that's trial and error. Finding people you mesh well with is really how you get like reoccurring people on your channel.
We're gonna pause for a second.
Experiences or stuff like that, but it really comes down to personality, and hanging out outside of just collaborations, I guess.
Technical difficulty comes back.
I am perceived. I have revived myself.
I'm gonna make sure it comes back specifically on that too. Edit it into giant twig.
I live.
I lived, bitch.
Oh goodness.
Oh my gosh. So time to try and backtrack that back. I think you got most of your point across, but
yeah.
Ideally what it comes down to at the end of the day is viewing that, but also viewing friends as friends.
Yes.
So
friends are not numbers.
A great example for me is one of my besties who I'm actually going to hang out with in 2 weeks, which is pretty awesome. I met through just randomly raiding people. And that's the way that I find a lot of people. I spend a lot of Sundays. I have selected parameters on Twitch and I just scroll and scroll. Some people out here doom scrolling Twitter. I'm doom scrolling Twitch for small VTubers.
That's the best way. Honestly, if I had Twitch, I would probably do something similar.
Yeah. I mean, another thing, obviously this isn't for friendships per se, but for collabs that I created that I think is helpful and I think a lot of people should try and capitalize on, is a Google form, unironically. Like, my Google form is out there.
Big VTuber, I would like to collaborate with you.
Collaboration forms are both a double-edged sword, but they're also great. I have reached out to people who have a form without even filling out their form and still gotten a collab with them, but sometimes we're not going to talk about that. There's a reason that one's unlisted. But
no.
I just am the kind of person that wants to give everybody the mindset of it's okay to reach out. You can truly, I believe, you can make friends with anyone. But it all comes back to treating friends as friends, not just as numbers.
Exactly.
And I've had friends that have run with that mindset, which is why we don't converse anymore. So just reach out wherever you can. I throw messages out at really big creators just to see what happens. And sometimes stuff does, sometimes stuff doesn't.
Which, like, back to the friends as friends versus friends as numbers. If you're someone who's making friends with people for the sake of numbers, we can tell.
Oh, it's so easy to tell.
You would,
I thank God I'm
weren't
not big
slim.
enough for that. I thank God I'm not big enough for that.
I'm not even big enough for that, and I still get somewhere. I'm like, okay, I see.
I mean,
I see you. Okay.
unironically, and I don't wanna call anything out, but there was a whole like conversation under one of my videos, trying to get somebody's attention. I'm not going to draw attention to it beyond that, but yeah, that was kind of cringe, so I removed that. Love y'all, but yeah. So at the end of the day, the number one thing to really take away from all that ramble is treat friends as friends and they'll come along real quick.
Yes.
And then
Very
you can
much so.
use them for content. I mean, there's also the mindset of the way that I meet people through this. I do meet people through this for the sake of, hey, I hope to work with you again in the future. Hey, I hope to talk with you again in the future. Doesn't always happen, unfortunately. I believe it or not, it's probably mostly my fault because I'm always trying to push forward and do more shit, and then I get myself too busy.
I feel that. I feel that so bad.
But it never hurts, and that's why self-promotion, there will be a form below this edited VOD. Please make sure to peek at it if you want to come by, because I will always look at it.
Speak with the Komainu Yuki?
Hello, it is me.
Do you want to be interviewed by the
streamer
Komainu Yuki?
Komainu Yuki, here to say, come by or
Worldwide
else.
sensation?
Worldwide sensation? What?
Yes.
Oh my god. I don't know about that, Chief. I don't know about that one at all.
Certified Jing Yuan lover?
Don't forget Arataki Ito. Come on. I don't have Jingyuan on my desk yet, but we have. So right in front of me, we have my nice Ito standee. We have my nice Rengoku and Akaza standee. I have a lot of dog Pokemon in front of me. Oh, and my little Ito orb plushie. I love it to death. It's so great. I don't like himbos. Anyways,
my desk is so depressing. My desk is very utilitarian because I work from home, so I just have like my drawing tablet stuff, my blue light blocking glasses.
Oh,
tape.
I worked from home for a little bit, and yeah. Oh, and we can't forget my Ito Buma mouse pad. That would be. I actually
very necessary.
We're gonna have to retire him soon, sadly. But to replace him, I did order a Baiju one.
Baiju Booba pad. It's justifiable.
Valid.
I approve of your taste.
And then I have Halloween Gen 2 at the beach on the rest of my desk under my other shit. But enough about me. So this is kind of off on a tangent altogether, and you can tell because I snuck it in at the last second. I didn't know about this until after one of my friends was actually a part of it. What was your experience with Oshilive and Anime Impulse and being a VTuber at a convention, and would you do it again?
It was fantastic. This is a self-promotion, baby. I'm hijacking this. I actually have a video about it that I'm going to be uploading on the 31st of this month. What? It was fantastic. I had one reaction where a girl didn't realize that I wasn't a recording, and so she waved and I said hi back, and she was like, "What the fuck?" and came over and got interviewed. It was fantastic. Denise from Oshilive, I love you. You are fantastic. You are adorable. I love you. And yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity. You should do it sometime, Yuki. It's so much fun.
So I didn't even know it was a thing. My friend, one of my friends, all of a sudden was like announcing it on Twitter, and I'm like, wait, what? Because it was from what I understood, it was a sign up, but just not obviously not everybody got in, so it wasn't really like a.
It was a sign up for a time slot.
Yeah.
You had, I think, 30 minutes to an hour on either a robot or an iPad. And you had to like specify whether or not you would be streaming it. I specified that I would be making a YouTube video interviewing con attendees. And so I'm editing the video interviewing con attendees. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm honestly bummed that I wasn't able to do it for sake of totally using it for this. Because although I don't want to put flesh on my talk show, but I guess I can settle for it. This is an anti-flesh zone.
They do plan on doing more opportunities. I know that they were taking anime panel requests for Anime Expo. You would have to buy like a badge and like pay them a fee to do it, but yeah, they were taking requests, and they do have like scheduled events coming, I'm pretty sure. So the opportunity isn't lost, Yuki.
That's
you can
for
still live your
everyone
dreams.
out there. I mean, I go to conventions anyways. I'll just freaking tape my phone to my face. I don't know.
Have your friend walk you around while you're VTubing from the hotel room.
I mean, realistically, all I have to do is there may or may not be a cosplay that I made. I have a very simplistic outfit. It's not very hard. I got called a Jedi the other day though. I don't know.
God forbid I ever make a Twig cosplay. This shit is so complicated. I put too much detail in this.
Agree to disagree. You could do it. I believe in you.
I'm not a sewist. That's the problem.
Commissions, baby. Oh my god. But
not gonna lie, the sweater does seem comfy though.
Yeah, that's a workaround. Me and Wild might do a little vlog. We'll see how we feel about it. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna manage it. I have a very expensive, nice phone, so we'll just wear masks and live our dream. Yeah, don't waste your money on iPhones, kids.
I've been considering it because the Moco P requires an iPhone.
That's true.
But also, I currently have, what is this? A track phone, a Samsung track phone from Walmart that is cracked and like 6 years old. So
I'm gonna be honest.
It would be so much of an upgrade.
I'm gonna be honest. The only reason I have the phone that I have is because I used to work for an electronics store. And
Mr. Fancy Schmancy electronics store worker. I see.
I was the rep for one of the like mobile companies through them, so I get a really hefty discount off of my service already. So that's the only reason I could justify it. So yeah, I do suggest the camera on the 14 Pro. Do I suggest spending the money on it if you don't have it? Hell no. Don't be me. I just know all the fucking promos. I was too good at my job. Should have never quit. Anyways, Going back onto
If I ever need electronics advice, I know who to go to.
for mobile phones, yeah. For most else, probably not. But I have learned a lot of stuff on phones. So to get back on the train, if you had one tip for a new VTuber or content creator, what would it be and why?
So we've already covered so much
Yeah.
in this episode. But I think I'm gonna leave it to don't place your value in numbers. Do not do it. Your numbers will fluctuate, and if you place your value of your worth of self in those numbers, your worth of self is going to fluctuate. Don't go with the highs and lows of YouTube or Twitch, where you have like a super good week and then super bad week. Yeah. That's the biggest way to burn yourself out. I'm sure it's motivating at first when you get that first burst of like followers and stuff, but you have to keep your mind in a stable place to be able to be consistent and to be able to handle those number fluctuations, because everyone compares themselves to everyone else. If someone says that they don't, it's a lie. It's not always from malicious intent. We're just humans. It's what we do. Don't place your worth in numbers. That's the number one thing that I see a lot that I wish like people would seek help or like try and find some sort of peace with that.
And that kind of goes along too with and I like the fact that this is the first time I've had somebody say that as their tip. So thank you for being the one that did it. It does kind of go along with what I tell everyone. My number one tip to everybody is find your reason for doing this. Because if you don't have a reason for doing it, then you're going to constantly be like, I guess I can give up because there's no real reason for it. But the second you find your reason for doing this and for content creation in of itself, every time that you have that down, you're going to remind yourself that. So those ones really go hand in hand, I feel like.
For real. Yeah, it's that sort of motivation, but also like inner peace. I hate sounding like a hippie like that, but yeah, inner peace, self like worth kind of thing.
Yeah, we aren't in a place where feng shui is important or anything. I don't know what you're talking about. We don't have like cherry blossoms and shit behind us or anything. So
we're
now,
not in a completely serene environment. I don't know what you're talking about.
oh no, this is my chaos room. Oh god. So kind of wrapping up things. And this is my cheat code that I recently learned about that I really like. If there was one creator you would like to see or any suggestions for the show, who or what would it / they be?
God, one creator?
You can do 3. Max of 3.
3. Probably the first one that comes to mind, because they are also VTuber education oriented, is Licorice Banashi. They do a lot on agency stuff and agency auditions. And they also do a lot on just like beginner VTuber tips. That I think they're a very cool content creator. They also do a lot of interviews with other VTubers, so you guys could talk about interviewing people. Also, I don't know, Manayu26 is a really fun, quirky sea turtle VTuber that I really love. That it would be cool to see her talking about some of the stuff that she does, because she made the switch from Twitch to YouTube, so she has a little bit more insight on the differences and the perks and all of the things. And then the last person, probably Z-Storm, the person I mentioned earlier. He does both VTubing, but he also does mostly scripted videos on a separate channel. So yeah, those are my 3 recommendations. They're all very cool people.
I'm gonna have you write them in properly because I know I spelled it wrong. It is what it is. I have a general idea what is there.
Yes.
Now then, building off of that, if there's one thing that you could change here, what would it be? Or can you not think of anything?
I would change
the fact that I'm putting black on red.
Yes. Do that. Implement that change. I would change that. Please stop doing that.
Change Yuki's bad brain. Remove the bad brain cells.
Remove the font. I will take that black and red font out of your slimy hands. I swear to God. But yeah, that, or like, I don't know. Start experimenting more with your editing. I know that's a big task from someone who, like, editing is their job, but, like, editing's fun. And, like, the more you get into it, the more you experiment, the funkier your editing style gets. So I look forward to seeing what you do in the future and how you grow and stuff like that. It'll be fun.
Oh, that'll be scary.
You'll be perceived as much as you have perceived me. Yes, Komainu world domination. It's
Komainu domination world.
Everyone's going to be turned into lion dog statues.
Hell no, that's what my brother wants. Fuck him. I'm the good twin, not the evil twin. What the fuck? Fuck that guy. Oh god.
This was a lot of fun though. I have no regrets applying to be on this show. It was very fun. Very snazzy. And also you should follow Yuki if you've come here from my stuff and yeah, you're here this long, you should totally follow Yuki because Yuki is cool and snazzy and can go on tangents about Genshin.
More like Genshin Dumpact. Got him.
Wow. Wow, says the Ito main.
I don't main Ito. I just like Ito. My comp is like the ugliest comp ever. My main comp is Zhongli, Ganyu, Jean, and oh god. Why is my brain not working? Keqing.
Who is it?
Keqing.
God, Keqing is the bane of my existence. You know how I, like, told you earlier about my Bronya curse? Yeah, Keqing's my Genshin version of that. I think I have C5 Keqing. I have not lost a 50-50 to any other 5-star other than Keqing.
Because Genshin say, Keqing, Keqing! Got him.
They say, you're free to play, so you must Keqing to win.
Oh god. Oh my god. Is there anything else that you would like to highlight or say before we sign off?
Follow Yuki.
No, don't. Alright, you're banned
perceive now. Yuki.
Nope, you're banned.
Worship Yuki.
Ugh, gross. I know that you are not a Twitch person, really.
Thank you for having me, Yuki.
Thank you for coming by. You're pretty cute. Probably smell good. I don't know. Something weird like that.
What the fuck is that compliment?
You don't like my sign off? That's my sign off. Oh my god, I'm getting bullied. I can't believe this.
You smell good. You probably smell good.
I don't know. Something weird like that, bro. I think I just murdered Twig. I am the snail that broke the Twig's back. Oh god.
You better subscribe to Yuuki.
Help.
And join the raid too. Yes.
Or else.
I'm holding him hostage. I'm holding all of you hostage.
Oh god. Help. 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 Alright, we're running away. Thank y'all for coming by.
Bye. Bye.